Good morning, YouTube. It's 7 a.m. in the great state of Texas, and today is bonus pen day, and we are putting together another pen, but just not any pen. We're doing our first acrylic pen. So, past couple of pens, I've been doing wood blanks, and today I'm going to try and make my first acrylic pen. And I've never worked with acrylic before, so I ordered a grab bag on Amazon. Excuse me, it's early in the morning, and decided, you know what, let's see what this is all about. So here I am slapping this piece of acrylic around thinking, okay, it's not epoxy, it's not wood, it's a completely different type of medium, and we're just going to see what we get out of it. So we start off the pen blank just like any other project, measuring everything up, just going to get these brass pieces sized up appropriately, and then we're going to get them cut on the bandsaw. So I come over to the bandsaw not knowing what to expect, because the first time you cut through anything different, you're kind of nervous about it. So on this one, cut through pretty easy, and I'm thinking, okay, not too bad. Cuts like maybe epoxy does just a little bit. And I'm going to come back and cut that other piece as soon as I turn the bandsaw on. There it is. And you get to see a close-up picture of what my hand looks like there. But cut through it just fine, no issues there. Might have cut one of those pieces just a little shorter than I needed to. And then I take it over to the lathe, and then we're just going to puncture through. But I've never cut through epoxy, not epoxy, but acrylic, and end up having this horrible blowout. And I'm thinking, okay, that was different. I've never had this problem before. And just trying to figure out what had caused that. Maybe I was a little too aggressive when drilling that out. That was my guess of what initially happened. So I have to throw that piece away, because when you work with something new, you never get it through the first time. So I go back to the box, pick up this different piece of acrylic, and I'm going, okay, this looks cooler. I used that gray piece initially just because I was like, okay, that's the practice one. But ended up getting this other piece here, and I'm going, okay, let's try this again. So cut it down, do essentially the same thing I did with the previous one, and drill right through it. And this one goes relatively smooth. Exact same motion, exact same pressure, no issues whatsoever on that first piece. So I'm thinking, okay, let's try the second piece and drill right through it. Boom, no issues other than that. So I'm thinking, well, son of a bitch. Things are not going my way. But I end up getting that off and just coming back and taking some 15-minute epoxy, putting the brass pieces through, threading them through, and letting this set up for a couple of days. I forgot a part in this where I was supposed to take sandpaper and rough up the edges. However, completely forgot to do that. But I let it adhese for about 2 days, and then I didn't have any issues. So since I had some time to let those previous pieces kind of just glue up, I just came back, and this piece of acrylic that I had, I never worked with this before, so this is kind of a practice run of what it feels like on the chisel, and it feels a lot different than anything previously that I had worked with. So I was kind of nervous going into this portion of it here. But I start working it down, and I'm worried that I'm going to have a blowout. I'm using my smallest carbide that I possibly have here, and I'm just slowly starting to take the edges off, just a little bit by a little bit here. And overall, not a lot of problems. I really took my time, took really shallow passes at this, and I'm thinking, okay, this isn't too bad. Once I kind of got the hang of what it felt like against the chisel, it really didn't have, too much feedback. I didn't get a lot of blowout. Actually, I didn't get any blowout. I didn't get any chip out. My biggest concern was just, getting everything down to a nice proportion, because usually, like when I first started working with wood blanks, the pieces were a little too thick, but once I got the hang of it, really no issues there. It kind of tears off, or the shavings kind of mimic that of epoxy just a little bit, but there's this really weird smell. Like, if anybody here works with acrylic, is there like supposed to be like this weird smell from these acrylic blanks? I can't really describe it, but I have like 3 masks on trying to not inhale all of these fumes, which kind of got to me just a little bit. But once we got everything kind of like used to where we wanted it to. Not a whole lot of issues here. So that first piece went relatively smooth. Then I came back for that second piece. Usually you see a lot of people have both pieces on the spindle, but I just decided to go one by one and really didn't have a lot of issue. And hopefully these acrylic pens go a little bit smoother. You saw in the beginning I had that blowout with that first piece of acrylic, but once I got everything sized up, it went relatively smooth. And here I am just sanding everything down on my little sander here, just to get everything nice and even and flush with those trim bits and those pieces there. So did all that. Now we start the sanding. I've never sanded acrylic, and we went from 320 all the way up to 2000, and I didn't come back with the micro mesh. This seemed to work just fine. 320, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1500, and then 2000. And that seemed to work just fine. So did all of those pieces on all of those grits. Then I came back, finished it up with super glue, put that on top, and just get that in there real nice and good. And then we can start the assembly of the pen. But overall, once I actually got the pieces onto the lathe, it went relatively smooth. And now that I know what I'm doing as far as assembling the pen, this part went relatively smooth as well. Got everything attached here, and I was really happy with how this turned out overall. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of acrylic pens in the future. Going to try to do one every Thursday. I didn't do one last week, but we got time in the shop and was able to come back and make this. And this looked really, really cool. My wife immediately stole this from me once I finished it, but this is probably my best pen so far. So acrylic, definitely a fun medium to work with. So here's the finished project. The lighting doesn't look too good, but you can see all those cool little fine details in the acrylic itself. But overall, really happy how this looks. Project went relatively smooth once we figured out what we were doing, but there will be another acrylic pen next week. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. More pens on Thursday. And it looks really cool in the hand. Really like the color here. So if you have any other tips or tricks, let me know. Leave a comment. All that fun stuff that every other YouTuber always says. And I will check you guys out in the next one. Alright, hope everybody has a good Thursday. Alright, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And there still will be a video on Sunday.
Alright, so project is done. And this is the best pen I have ever made. And working with acrylic is probably going to be my new favorite thing. Making these things are so damn cool. Look at that. First time go, the damn tip comes out and goes back in and retracts. Can't ask for more than that. And this acrylic looks really cool. Really different medium to kind of work with. Really took my time doing this. Obviously, as you guys saw from the beginning of the video, not too good initially, just punching through the acrylic with the drill, but overall, really happy how this looks. This looks really, really cool. So Thursdays will probably be pens. I didn't do a project last week, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But overall, really happy how this looks. This is a really cool looking pen. Can't ask for more. This looks really, really dope. I am probably, come the holiday season, I want to get a lot better at doing this, but I'm probably going to start giving away these pens just, you know, as a giveaway for the channel. But that's something to be looking forward to a little bit later. But really like how this looks. Gonna do more of these. Got a bunch more blanks to play with. So hope you liked it. Hope you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one. Hope everybody enjoyed this video. And all right, peace.